You got to go 60 feet. When we consider them, there must be a foundation. The foundation is established according to the environment of the terrain. Listen again. You build a foundation according to the environment of the terrain. In one environment that's going to be very soggy, then you have to be very careful. In another environment where the rock is hard and non-porous, you've got to build upon it. In a foundation where you can dig under and dig through and then come up, you have a more solid foundation. Listen to me. When we speak of rock, we normally speak of what's called a non-porous substance. It is normally considered to be a substance that is non-porous. It's not like a sponge where it is saturated with water and takes the water in. The water rolls off of it. When we speak of a rock, ladies and gentlemen, we speak of the foundation for earthly dwellings. When we speak of Jesus, we have to speak of Jesus the Christ, because the Christ is the earthly body of God made to weather the storms of the earth. So the foundation, Jesus Christ, becomes the body that enables you to weather the storms of your foundation. Now we're having problems among us because some of us are not building on a foundational stone. To attempt to build a ministry on the prosperity message alone will not get you through hard times when you find out your husband is cheating on you. You can't give and bring that home back together. To build a marriage, to build a church on healing lines, both of these I believe in, you see, but not as a foundation. To build a church on healing lines will not be able to get you through the storm when you are finding that you're unable to be promoted on your job because of your sex, because of your color, because of your religion. You have to be on a solid foundation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, when we consider here the time of our building, we are building in dangerous times. It is a time of more style than substance. It is a time where our churches take on beautiful characteristics that we saw from television, and our choir swings and sways like we saw at the concert we went to, and our preachers are gowned in beautiful robes like we saw in the robe book. But unless we can comprehend, there must be more substance than style. Anybody can have style, but there's got to be substance. Considering the text that is before us, the Bible tells us we have entered a dangerous time. This is a dangerous time where we have forgotten principles of continuance. How do we continue to be what our forefathers were? How do we continue to be faithful and full of power? How do we continue? I have married hundreds of people. I don't know how many. I have pastored for 23 years, and the people that I have been blessed to marry and counsel counsel, I do not believe in those 23 years that we have had not 10 divorces. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's not a tribute to Bishop Wagner. It is a tribute to building on a rock. You must hear what I'm saying. We must return to the rock to build upon. Now, I'm talking about saints. Sometimes when people are married to devils and you are told by somebody, God said just stick it out and hold it, they are giving you bad advice. You do not apply scriptures that God gave the saints to people who are not saved. So you have to understand that there are some conditions you should have been out of long time ago. Hear me clearly. Ladies and gentlemen, that requires counseling from the men and women of God who shepherdize you, not the people sitting next to you. They don't know enough about it. They'll tell you, say, I tell you what I would do. Well, maybe you would do what they're telling you to do if you were married to who they're married to. Remember when they tell you, I tell you what I do. They're telling you from their experience, from being married to who they're married to. You've got to go to the man of God, the woman of God who is over you. And you must receive not advice, but counsel. Advice is giving you a persuasive direction based upon one's own experience. Counsel, the word counsel, means insight from God. So when you deal with counsel, when you go for counsel, you're saying, what does God say about this? Now, ladies and gentlemen, you've got to see that advice tells you sometimes the best thing to do. Advice tells you the right thing to do. But counsel tells you something else. A counselor must recognize we're talking about building on a foundation. A counselor must recognize that there is more than two sides to every story. Somebody said there's two sides to this. No, honey, not in counseling, not with two people. There are 5 sides to every story. There is his side, there is her side, then there is the right side and the wrong side, and lastly, there's God's side. The right side might be if a person hits you, hit him back. The right side might be tit for tat. That could be the right side. The right side might be if a person comes to you and is angry with you, for you to be angry with them. But that's not God's side. Advice seeks to give you the best, the right side, but not counsel. Counsel gives you God's side. You might be the one that's right, and God says, hold your peace. That's God's side. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at a dangerous time in our life. It is a time where we are building buildings off the foundation. We are not dead center on the foundation. Now, the Bible tells us that the foundation that we must build upon, he says that we are to be built upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Jesus Christ being the chief cornerstone. Ephesians 3:20 or 2:20. Here, ladies and gentlemen, we must build, notice again, upon the apostles. Now, we must return to the apostles' doctrine. Let us remember the scripture records 3 doctrines. The Bible tells us in 1 Timothy 4:1, there is the doctrine of devils. The Bible tells us in Colossians 2, verse 22, there's the doctrine of men. And then in Hebrews 6 and 1 and 2, there's the doctrine of Christ. Now, the doctrine of a man, you can tell. It's usually